The chamber of the Galactic Council was silent, not peaceful. Not calm silent like prey waiting for a strike. Thousands of beings filled the vast hall. Tall ones, wide ones, scaled-winged beings made of light and metal, all watching the same figure, the human he. Stood alone at the center platform, no armor, no weapon, no guards, just a dark uniform, hands behind his back. Face calm too, calm. Many in the council did not like that. They remembered humans as noisy, arguing, divided, weak a young species from a violent world, a death world. Screens above the chamber showed old images, floods, wars, burning cities. Humans fighting humans. The council once believed that alone made them harmless. They were wrong. Low growl echoed from the upper seats. A mercenary stood there. Not a council member, just a witness. He had been invited because he had survived something others had not. His body was covered in scars, metal replaced one arm. One eye glowed faint red. He had fought in a border war years ago against pirates, against rebels, against humans. He stepped forward slowly. The room shifted some. Feared him more than the human. He raised his damaged hand. Council members protested. They did not want outsiders to speak, but the mercenary did not stop. He looked at the human, then at the council, and spoke, soft, rough, honest. He said he had seen human war fleets, not the ones in trade lanes, not the ones on public records. The real ones, hidden fleets. Silent fleet ships that did not broadcast, did not answer hail, ships that watched. Waited. He said humans never attacked first. But when they did, nothing survived. The council dismissed his words. Some laughed. Others clicked in anger. Old stories, exaggeration, fear talk. The mercenary shook his head. He said humans learned patience from extinction. From losing billions, from rebuilding again and again. He said they learned to hide. The human representative did not react. That made it worse. The head of the council leaned forward. Ancient wise, tired, he asked the mercenary why he spoke now. The mercenary answered, because the question was about to be asked. The room grew colder. All eyes returned to the human. The head of the council spoke again. He said the galaxy was changing, empires were rising, borders were breaking. He said power must be measured, all eyes must be known. Then he asked, how strong is humanity really? A ripple moved through the chamber. The question hung heavy. No one had dared to ask it before. Humans had never offered an answer. The human representative finally moved. He stepped forward, one pace slow. Controlled, he looked around the chamber, at the fear, at the doubt, at the arrogance. Then he spoke. His voice was calm, clear, almost gentle. He said humans were not strong. The council relaxed slightly. Then he continued. He said humans were prepared. The mercenary closed his remaining eye. The human said Earth taught them a simple rule. If you are loud, you die first. If you show strength, someone tests it. If you show weakness, everyone attacks. So humanity chose silence, he said, while others expanded. Humans dug deep, while others built monuments. Humans built bunkers, while others trusted treaties. Humans trusted numbers. The council demanded those numbers. The human paused, not because he was afraid, but because the answer mattered. He said humanity did not rule systems. They guarded them, did not seek wars, but finished them, did not show fleets, but hid them. The mercenary spoke again. He said this was the moment, the last moment. He warned the council, do not push them. Do not threaten them, do not mock them, because humans do not shout before they strike, they whisper. The human representative nodded slightly. He said the council had demanded answers. He said humanity would answer. He raised one hand. The lights in the chamber, dim stars appeared above, not decorative, not symbolic, real, live. The mercenary felt his breath stop. He recognized the pattern, deep space, outside known maps. The human spoke one final line. He said this was only the beginning. The council did not yet understand, but they would very soon. The stars above the council chamber were not art. They were real, alive, moving. Every light was a system. Every shadow was distance. The council forgot to breathe. Data streamed across the air, slow at first, then faster. Human space expanded like a living thing. Trade routes, mining zones, colonies, but something felt wrong. The mercenary saw it first. The pattern was too clean, too controlled. These were not borders of growth. They were borders of defense. The human representative stood still, one hand raised, eyes on the stars. He let the council watch minutes pass and no one spoke. The stars shifted again. New layers appeared, faint lines, hidden paths. The mercenary felt his chest tighten. These were not civilian routes. These were military corridors. Silent. Once a council general broke the silence. He demanded explanation. The human answered calmly. He said these paths were old, built during human dark ages, times of war, times of loss. He said humanity learned to move without being seen. The council did not like that answer. Another leader asked why none of this was shared. The Human replied simply. No one asked. The stars changed again. Ships appeared, thousands of them, then tens of thousands, different sizes, different designs. All human. The council gasped. Some shouted, some stood, some tried to leave. The mercenary did not move. He had seen these ships before, not this many, but enough to know the truth. These were not show fleets. They were ready fleets. The human explained. Each layer: outer patrols, inner guards, rapid response groups. He said these ships did not fly banners. They did not broadcast names. They only answered one signal: human command. The council asked who they were built to fight. The human paused, then said, anyone. The word fell heavy. The stars dimmed slightly. New images appeared. Old battles, human worlds burning, cities in ruins, orbital stations breaking apart, children hiding underground. The human voice remained steady. He said humanity was once weak. He did not deny. Said weakness taught them fear. Fear taught them planning. Planning taught them survival. The mercenary remembered his first battle. Human ships had arrived late, too late. Then they stayed too long. Nothing escaped. The council accused humanity of lying, of hiding weapons, of planning conquest. The human shook his head slowly. He said conquerors announce themselves predators. Stay quiet. That line silenced the room. The stars shifted once more. The map zoomed out far beyond known space, beyond trade lanes, beyond exploration charts. The mercenary felt cold. This space was wrong. Too empty, too perfect. The human spoke again. He said this was where humanity learned its final lesson. He said this was where they almost died, an ancient enemy now gone, destroyed, not defeated. Erase. The council demanded proof. The human nodded. Data poured in: wreckage fields, dead stars, broken planets. No life, no signals. The mercenary knew the scale. This was extinction-level war. The council understood. Then humans did not survive by luck. They survived by preparing for the worst every day. A council elder whispered that this was madness, that no species builds like this without intent. The human answered, intent is survival. The stars paused. Everything stopped moving. The human lowered his hand slightly. He said the council had seen only human movement, not human strength. The mercenary clenched his metal hand. He knew what came next. The council asked what they were not seeing. The human looked directly at them. He said, what you see are eyes. What you do not see are fists. A new layer began to form, hidden even deeper. The mercenary felt fear again, the kind he had buried. For years he remembered the sound of human weapons, not loud, not dramatic, final. The council demanded the truth, all of it. The human nodded. He said humanity never wanted fear, but fear listens when words fail. He said the next image would answer everything. The lights dimmed further. The stars faded. A single symbol appeared. Simple human. The mercenary whispered a warning. Too late. Human raised his hand again, and the galaxy prepared to see what it was never meant to know. The symbol remained in the air. Simple human. The council waited. No one spoke. No one moved. Then the symbol opened, not with light, but with depth. Layers unfolded. One beneath another. Numbers began to appear, small at first. 1, 10, the council relaxed slightly. This was nothing. Then the count accelerated. Thousands, tens of thousands. The numbers did not stop. The mercenary leaned forward. He recognized the pattern. This was not display. This was inventory. Ships appeared with the numbers human. Warships, cruisers, carriers. Each number matched a vessel. Each vessel was active. The council erupted. Some shouted lies. Some demanded audits. The human representative let them speak. He waited. The numbers climbed. 100,000. Silence returned. A council strategist whispered that this alone could crush empires. The human answered calmly, these are not our defense force. The words cut deep. The mercenary felt a chill. He had heard that sentence before, during a siege, right before everything burned. The council demanded clarification. The human explained, these fleets protect trade, respond to piracy, secure borders. They are watchers, not hunters. The numbers froze, then split columns formed. Reserve fleets, training fleets, rapid build yards. The council tried to keep up. Their systems lagged. Human data was too dense, too organized. The mercenary smiled grimly. Only a species that expects war counts like this. A council elder asked why so many were needed. The human replied, because humans fight alone. The room did not understand. He explained further, humans never assume help arrives in time. They plan to stand alone every time. The display shifted again. New shapes appeared, bigger, heavier. The council leaned forward. These ships were wrong, too large, too armored, weapons layered over weapons. The human paused before speaking. He said, these are not fleet ships, these are anchors. They hold the line when everything else breaks. The mercenary whispered the word he knew, Dreadnought. The human did not confirm, not yet. The council demanded numbers again. The human nodded, the display blurred, numbers reset 0, then climbed slow deliberate 1510. The council grew restless. This was nothing compared to before. Then the human raised a finger. He said, "These ships are not counted with the others. They are not public, not assigned. They sleep." The mercenary closed his eyes. Sleepers, that was worse. The numbers continued, hundreds. The council tried to interrupt. The human lifted his hand for the first time. His voice hardened. He said, "Do not confuse patience with weakness." The room fell silent. The count reached 1,000. Gasps filled the chamber. A single ship like this could end wars. The mercenary remembered one it had arrived alone. The battle ended in minutes. The display paused. The human spoke softly again. He said, "These are not all of them." The council felt it then, the weight, the truth pressing down. The numbers faded, replaced by a single-line program status. Active. The council asked where they were built. The human answered, "Everywhere you did not look." The mercenary laughed once, short, bitter. He said, "You never look into the dark." The human continued. He said, "Humans learned early. Light attracts enemies. Dark keeps you alive." The council demanded the final count. The human did not answer, not yet. He said the council first needed to understand something. These ships are not aimed at the galaxy. They are aimed at extinction. The mercenary knew that was. True humans did not fear enemies. They feared endings. The display began to change again. The numbers prepared to rise much higher. The council leaned back in fear. The human lowered his hand slightly. He said this was still only the beginning. The mercenary whispered, "Too many, too quiet, too late." The numbers vanished. Not faded, not erased, pulled away. The chamber felt empty without them. The council needed air, but none spoke. The human representative lowered his hand, slow, careful. He knew this part mattered. He said, "Numbers mean nothing without reason." The council demanded that reason. They wanted intent, motive, truth. The human looked at the stars one last time, then let them fade. Darkness filled the chamber, not total, just enough. He began to speak. He said, "Humanity once trusted the galaxy. Trade, talk, shared skies." He said it ended badly. Images appeared. Human colonies burned. Stations torn open, signals unanswered, allied fleets retreating. The mercenary felt old anger rise. He had seen this too. The human continued. He said, "Older empires saw humans as tools, soldiers, labor, frontline shields. Promises were made, protection, alliance, peace. When the wars came, those promises vanished. Humans were left alone again." The council shifted. Uncomfortably, some looked away. The human did not accuse. He did not need to. The images spoke for him. He said humanity learned a rule that day. Never depend on mercy, never depend on rescue, depend on preparation. The darkness deepened, new images formed. Deep space facilities, hidden yards, silent construction, massive hulls being built slowly. Year by year, no rush, no signal. The mercenary whispered patience. The human nodded slightly. He said these ships were not built for glory, no banners, no names. Only numbers. He said humans did not want war. They wanted time, time to grow, time to heal, time to prepare. The council asked, "Why hide it all?" The human answered simply, "Because power invites tests, and humanity was tired of being tested." The images shifted again. Early prototypes, failures, destroyed hulls, human engineers working through loss. Learning. The mercenary remembered something. Human ships changed after every battle, stronger, smarter. The human explained every defeat was recorded, every death counted. Mistakes were not repeated. The council asked how long this had been planned. The human answered, "Since the first betrayal." That word echoed betrayal. He said the Dreadnought program was never about conquest. It was about never begging. Again, never calling for help, never losing everything in one night. The chamber felt heavy. A council elder asked the question no one wanted: if these ships were not for war, why build so many? The human met his gaze. He said, "Extinction does not knock." Twice, the mercenary felt that truth in his bones. Humans prepared for the worst enemy, the one that ends all stories. The images changed one final time. A human world, green, alive, children running, cities shining. Then the image cut to ruins, ash, silence. The human spoke softly. He said, "This is why the council understood." Then this was not arrogance, it was fear shaped into steel. The human raised his hand again. The darkness began to lift. He said the council asked for numbers, they would receive them. But now they knew why. The mercenary straightened. He knew the next reveal would break them, because reasons are heavier than weapons. And humanity had many. The chamber lights brightened slightly. The truth was no longer hidden, and it was only getting worse. The light returned slowly. The chamber felt smaller. The council waited. No one argued now. The human representative stood firm. Calm, unmoved. He said the reason was known. Now came the wait. The display returned. No stars, no maps, just numbers. Large, clear. The mercenary felt his chest tighten. This was it. The count began, not fast, not slow, steady. 10,000, the council stirred. That alone was unthinkable. The number continued. 50,000. Whispers spread. Fear, denial. 100,000. Several council members stood, some in shock, some in anger. The human did not stop. The count kept rising. 200,000. The chamber felt cold. Systems across the council strained to process it. The mercenary remembered the sound, not engines, not weapons. Silence before the end. 300,000. A council voice cracked. This was impossible. The human answered without emotion. It was necessary. The number climbed. 400,000. Some species collapsed into their seats. Others stared in disbelief. The mercenary watched the human. No pride, no threat, only fact. Then the count stopped. 500,000. The number hovered. Heavy. Final. The chamber broke. Cries, shouts, fear. The human raised his hand. Silence returned. He spoke. He said these were dreadnoughts, each one built to stand alone, each one carrying enough firepower to end wars, each one fully crewed, fully supplied, fully awake. The mercenary swallowed. Awake was the worst word. The human continued. He said they were spread across deep space, hidden, moving slowly, always watching, always ready. The council demanded targets. They needed to know. The human answered none. The word cut deeper than any threat. He said the dreadnoughts were not aimed at the council, not aimed at the galaxy. They were aimed at extinction, at anything that tried to erase humanity. The mercenary nodded. That was human logic. The council accused humanity of holding the galaxy hostage. The human shook his head. He said hostages are threatened. We are not threatening, we are waiting. The chamber felt that waiting was worse. A council leader asked what would trigger their use. The human replied the end of choice. The mercenary understood. When humans have no other path, the display shifted. Brief images flashed, dreadnought hulls, vast endless weapons layered in silence. The council could not measure it. The human spoke again. He said this fleet had existed for years. Not built in panic, built in patience. He said humanity hoped they would never be used, but hope was not a plan. Preparation was. The mercenary felt fear, not of attack, of certainty. The human lowered his hand. The number remained. 500,000. The council saw it clearly. The galaxy had never been unprotected. It had been watched, guarded by a species that did not boast, did not warn, only prepared. The human finished calmly. He said the council demanded answers. Humanity answered. The room knew there was no turning back now. Asterisk. The number still floated above them. 500,000. No one spoke. Fear had finished its work. Now came understanding. The council members looked at each other. Old rivals, old enemies, all small now. A general broke the silence. He said this power could rule the galaxy. The human representative nodded. He did not deny it. He said that was why humanity never sought it. The mercenary felt that truth land. Power taken is always challenged. Power refused is remembered. The council began to argue. Some demanded sanctions, control limits. Their voices shook. They knew how weak the words sounded. The human listened, patient still. When the noise faded, he spoke. He said humans accept no chains, no overseers, no commands. The chamber stiffened. He continued. He said humanity does not need permission to survive. The mercenary saw respect replace fear. Slowly, a council elder asked why reveal this now. The human answered because threats were forming, because silence no longer protected anyone. He said humanity chose honesty over surprise. The council whispered among themselves. That alone showed restraint. Another leader asked what humanity wanted in return. The human replied nothing. That answer confused them more than the numbers. He explained humans do not trade safety, they share it. If the galaxy stands together, humanity stands with it. If the galaxy turns on them, humanity stands alone. The mercenary felt pride rise. Not loud, not wild, quiet. The council debated. Fear lost its grip. Logic took its place. They realized something important. Humans did not build 500,000 dreadnoughts to rule. They built them so no one else could. A council strategist spoke carefully. He said the galaxy had misunderstood humanity. The human inclined his head. He said misunderstanding keeps peace until it breaks. The council began to shift. Voices softened, postures lowered. They were no longer judging. They were adjusting. A motion was proposed. Humanity to be recognized not as a threat but as a strategic guardian. The mercenary watched history bend. Some resisted, but none could deny reality. The vote began. Lights blinked one by one. The result was clear. The motion passed. The chamber exhaled. The human representative remained calm, as if he had expected this all along. The council elder announced new terms: no interference in human defense, no forced disclosure, mutual warning of extinction-level threats. The human agreed. He said humanity would not lead, but they would not hide. The mercenary felt relief and something else: safety. The display finally faded. The number disappeared. But its meaning remained. The council no longer feared human power. They respected human restraint. The human took a step back. He said this meeting was not about Dominance, it was about survival together. The chamber stood in silence again, but this time it was not prey silence, it was understanding. The galaxy had not gained a ruler, it had gained a shield. The council chamber felt different now, not lighter. But clearer, fear had shaped the meeting, respect ended it. The council elder rose slowly, his voice carried across the hall. He declared a new record. Humanity would be listed as a strategic protector, not above the council, not beneath it, beside it. The mercenary watched the human, no smile, no triumph, only acceptance. The elder continued. New laws would be written, no species would threaten human space, no fleet would enter it uninvited. Any extinction-level signal would be shared first with Earth. The galaxy had chosen its shield. The human representative nodded once, agreement, not celebration. The mercenary understood. Humans did not celebrate survival, they planned for it. The council dismissed the gathering one by one, the leaders left quiet. Thoughtful, old beliefs broken outside the chamber. News spread fast, uncontrolled. 500,000 dreadnoughts, hidden awake. The galaxy reacted. Some worlds fortified, some sought alliance, some simply stayed silent. Enemies of the council reconsidered their plans. Pirate kings vanished, warlords changed routes, not because humans threatened them, but because humans did not. That silence was enough. The mercenary left the chamber alone. He looked up at the stars. For the first time in years he felt safe. The humans stood behind him, not close, not far. The mercenary spoke quietly. He said the galaxy would remember this day. The human replied, they already are, across the stars. Human dreadnoughts continued their slow paths, no banners, no signals guarding. Trade lanes watching dark space, prepared for the end of things on Earth. Life continued, children laughed, cities grew. Unaware of how close the edge had been, that was the point. Humanity did not build power to be seen, they built it so others could. Live normally, the galaxy learned a final lesson. The most dangerous species is not the loudest, not the cruelest, but the one that prepares in silence and never forgets. The council archives would later name this moment, not as a threat, not as a warning, but as a correction. The galaxy had misunderstood humans. Now it understood humans were not conquerors, they were the line. The last line, and no one would ever cross it again.